Once upon a time, in the heart of a bustling city, there lived a man named Daniel Carter. To the world, he seemed to have everything: a successful career, a luxurious penthouse, and a lifestyle many envied. But beneath the polished surface, an unshakable emptiness gnawed at him. Despite his achievements, Daniel felt lost. Every morning, he woke up with a lingering sense of dissatisfaction. He had thousands of followers on social media, invitations to exclusive parties, and business deals that most could only dream of. Yet, at the core of it all, he felt isolated. The laughter at his gatherings was superficial, the friendships fleeting. No material possession could fill the void that had taken root deep inside him. One evening, after another restless night, Daniel found himself scrolling mindlessly through online articles. A particular quote caught his attention: "Happiness is not found in what you own, but in what you experience and cherish." It was attributed to an old Buddhist monk who lived in a secluded monastery in the Himalayas. Something about those words struck him deeply. For the first time in years, Daniel allowed himself to entertain a thought he had always dismissed. What if he needed to step away from everything to truly understand life? What if happiness wasn't in the things he had, but in something he had yet to discover? The next morning, Daniel made a radical decision. He left behind his business, disconnected from his devices, and booked a flight to Nepal. He had no concrete plan, only an insatiable curiosity and a deep longing for something more. Daniel's journey led him to a small village nestled in the foothills of the Himalayas. The air was crisp, and the towering mountains exuded a silent wisdom that humbled him. He asked the locals about the monk he had read about, and after several days of searching, he found himself standing before the ancient gates of a monastery hidden amidst the clouds. A serene figure in saffron robes greeted him at the entrance. The monk, known as Master Rinzan, had a presence that was both powerful and calming. His eyes held the depth of countless lifetimes, yet his smile was warm and inviting. "What brings you here, young man?" Rinzan asked, his voice gentle. "I don't know exactly," Daniel admitted. "I just know that I'm not happy. I've spent my whole life achieving, but I feel empty." The monk nodded knowingly. "Then perhaps you have come to the right place." Thus began Daniel's life at the monastery. It was unlike anything he had ever known. There were no extravagant parties, no luxury cars, no corporate meetings, only simplicity. He woke up at dawn, helped with chores, meditated, and spent hours in quiet contemplation. At first, he struggled. His mind was restless, yearning for the distractions he had once relied upon. But slowly, something began to shift. The stillness of the monastery allowed him to see himself clearly for the first time. He had spent his life running after success, validation, and fleeting pleasures. But here, in the quiet embrace of the mountains, he began to realize that happiness was never something to be chased. It was something to be nurtured within. One evening, as he sat with Master Rinzan beneath a sky full of stars, the monk shared a story. "There was once a farmer," Rinzan began, "who worked tirelessly every day. He had little wealth, but he had a loving wife and children. Every evening, after a long day in the fields, he would sit with his family, share a meal, and listen to the laughter of his children. He had no grand possessions, but he was content. He knew that joy was not in what he lacked, but in what he already had." Daniel listened intently. He thought about his own life, about the countless moments he had overlooked in pursuit of something greater. He realized that he had been searching for happiness in the wrong places. It was not in wealth or recognition, but in presence, gratitude, and connection. Months passed, and Daniel felt a transformation taking place within him. He no longer woke up with a sense of emptiness. He found joy in the smallest things: the sound of the wind through the trees, the warmth of a cup of tea, the kindness of a stranger. He understood now that happiness was not a destination but a way of being. One day, Rinzan took Daniel on a long walk through the mountains. As they climbed higher, the monk spoke softly. "Happiness is like the river," he said. "It flows naturally, but if you try to trap it, it stagnates. Let it flow, let it be, and you will always have enough." Daniel absorbed his words, realizing that in his past life, he had tried to force happiness, to control it. But true joy was in surrendering to the moment. As the months turned to a year, Daniel became part of the monastery's rhythm. He helped the villagers, shared meals with monks, and meditated under ancient trees. He had found a peace he never thought possible. When the time came for him to leave, he felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He thanked Master Rinzan and the monks, promising to carry their wisdom with him. Returning home, Daniel saw the world through new eyes. He reconnected with his family, spent time with loved ones, and found fulfillment in helping others. He no longer measured his life by his achievements, but by the depth of his experiences and relationships. He started a small retreat center, sharing his journey with others. People from all walks of life came to hear his story, to learn from his transformation. And in guiding them, he realized that happiness multiplies when shared. In the end, Daniel learned that happiness was never something outside of himself. It had always been there, waiting for him to slow down, to breathe, and to truly see the beauty of life.